This founder built a Slack native AI bot that's actually useful, not just a demo trap. But the homepage, it's underselling the most compelling use case. In this query jam, we talk through how to sharpen early messaging without overpromising, why virtual assistant is killing conversions, and how to use one really clear messaging wedge use case to get a lot more users. Let's get into it.
Hey everyone, my name is Karthik. I'm the co-founder and CTO of Langtrace AI. At Langtrace, we are building this new product called Zest, which is a platform that lets you build and deploy AI-powered Slack bots into your Slack workspace.
I love it. So you're basically building an AI agent for Slack.
That's right. You got that.
Awesome. Can you tell me a little bit more about I know this is a newer product. Can you tell me a little bit more about who your target customers are?
Yeah, so the target customers that we are planning to reach out to are primarily current customers of Slack, because Zest primarily works on Slack. And in terms of the profiles and the size of company, we are reaching out to people that are non-technical by nature, who are in non-technical functions such as marketing, sales, recruiting, operations, and HR. And,
Mm-hmm.
and in terms of company sizes, we are targeting companies in the sweet spot between 10 to 50 or even 100 and not beyond that.
Got it. Can you share a little bit more about kind of why you're going in that kind of sweet spot between 10 and 100 employees?
Yeah, so because this is a new product, that's one thing. It's faster to onboard customers that are in this particular size. And secondly, we feel at larger companies there are dedicated teams and a need for a Slack bot that kind of like augments your capabilities may not be that acute. And very small teams, they are already busy with a lot of stuff, so maybe they are not they don't have the appetite to get a new product like this. The sweet spot of like 20 to 50 employees, they are at a size that is not big enough or small enough, but they could get some help out of like AI powered Slack bots that can take things off your plate on a daily basis. So that's why we kind of like landed on that number.
Makes sense. The types of users that you're going to go, the types of customers you're going after right now, what is kind of the things they're doing before? Like, are they using another Slackbot or AI competitor? Are they doing nothing? Are they trying to piecemeal it together with Zapier and Vibes? What's kind of the general status quo or the competition that you're now replacing?
Great question. So it's a combination of all of those. So primarily what we are noticing is across these companies, there are maybe like one or like little more than one employee within the company who is like very AI forward, and they are the enthusiast, and they want to adopt all these different technologies and tools out there like Zapier, N8N, Lindy, and all these bot creation platforms. But even like as an enthusiast, you put in the time to onboard onto these platforms yourself, and you create these workflow automations, and you connect it to Slack and show it to others. But for someone else looking at this and be like, oh, this is amazing, I want to like try this out as well, it takes time and effort for them to like onboard onto these platforms, because the onboarding is like the learning curve is a little bit steep. With our product, what we are striving to achieve here is we want to make it such that bot creation is like super easy and seamless. At the same time, AI should be in multiplayer mode by default, and Slack is like a perfect product surface to do that. Because you could be using ChatGPT in a novel way, but you need to go explicitly tell your coworker that this is how I'm using ChatGPT. But if you can have bots run within Slack, and if you have an AI enthusiast like show it to others on a common channel how to use this bot, then it becomes like collaborative by nature, and it kind of like lifts everyone on the team, and everyone gets educated on a daily basis.
Awesome. And I think that's a perfect segue if you want to pull up your homepage so you can kind
Yeah.
of dive in a little bit more detail.
Yeah, so we have this landing page. This is just like a waitlist. We are running a closed beta right now. The general idea here is to instantly have, like, if someone lands onto this landing page, they should instantly get that, okay, this is some kind of a bot, and the design of this is such that it looks like Slack. So in a way, even if they don't read that your virtual assistant on Slack, they kind of understand that it runs on Slack. And if I send a message like this, it kind of like looks and feels like Slack, and it has the Slack notification sound as well. So
Mhm.
that's the general idea here.
Yeah, I think that's a really clever way to get people into your closed beta. You're basically just mimicking your own functionality in sort of the same interface as Slack. That's super clever. I actually haven't seen that done that often. So major kudos there. One question I have for you is if somebody's on this page and they don't really know what Zest is yet, do you think it's actually clear to say like what can I take off of your plate? Feels a little bit generic. And if you were saying before, it's mostly, agency founders or like, the AI enthusiast who's in sales and marketing within a company, should your maybe H1 signal a little bit more like what can I take off of your plate, marketing related or growth related? Or is there something else that, can you pinpoint to is what is the major pain point that someone's going to have that's going to make them want to sign up? Because the sign up infrastructure is great, but I wonder if the H1 is underselling you.
That's a really good feedback. That's definitely a great feedback. I think it makes a lot of sense because I have a blind spot because like I was involved in the building of this website, but then if I am coming onto this website, I have no idea what tasks Zest can take off out of my plate. So make it more targeted. It would make a lot more sense.
Yeah, you were talking a little bit offline about how a lot of your beta users are using it for like data enrichment and to notify them
Right.
of leads and to respond faster. Is that kind of the default use case right now?
It is kind of the use case that is resonating with our beta users right now. Although you can create bots for different use cases, it truly depends on the apps that you connect these bots with. We have built like a pretty horizontal product that ways, but right now it's resonating more so with marketing and growth experts at different companies for lead enrichment use
Yeah.
cases.
I mean, that is one of the curses and one of the amazing points and one of the curses of having a horizontal product is it means it can work in pretty much any industry. Like there's any industry, any department can use a Slack bot, can use an
Yeah.
AI agent Slack bot like this and out there. But I do wonder if because you're in beta and early in, if it might make sense to really lean heavily into that use case that you're already seeing patterns on. You've already said that there were multiple people who were going and using it for lead gen and to like close faster. Should you maybe lean into that within your H1 and that could help you get a lot more feedback and a lot more beta users?
Yeah, that's a really good point. Something that I've been thinking about as well, because it's a horizontal product, which is great, but at the same time, it's a marketing problem for us. Like, how
Mhm.
do we market it to end users? And we don't know where this is going to resonate well. But the good news is with the beta customers that we have right now, we know for a fact that it is resonating well with the specific use case. So maybe I think the right approach here on is just to like lean in onto that particular use case and try and heavily market it for that specific use case and let users automatically discover that it can do more than that particular use case.
Absolutely. And the beauty of niching down like that, particularly early on, is you're going to figure out within 30 to 90 days exactly if it's catching steam. If it is, cool, double down on it. If it's not, you can search ahead. Given the fact that you're still in a closed beta, there's no reason you can't have multiple versions of your homepage that are just in different verticals. So maybe you have one for support, you have one for designers, you have another one for, and I said not technical people, but another one for HR, have all kinds of different verticals, and you can kind of, another one just for agencies and sort of like hedge and see which one is getting the most traction.
Absolutely. I think it's marketing wise, there is a lot more work to do based on what I can tell for sure.
Yeah. And then you probably already going to know what I'm going to say next, which is your virtual assistant on Slack. I feel like that is something that I've seen across a lot of AI startups and even with some of my own clients. Everyone kind of leans into the whole it's your virtual assistant sort of thing. Could you be, but that feels pretty generic. Could you
Right.
be a little bit more specific and just really lean in even more in utilizing that second line to be like, hey, connected to your sales and marketing or rev up staff, ready to work on day one instead of leaning into the cliche of your VA.
That's a really good point. I never thought about that because it seems like your virtual assistant on X is like a very common messaging across a lot of different AI agent companies. The key message that at least in my mind that we want to like hammer with our marketing here is because it runs on Slack, which is collaborative by nature. There just needs to be one AI enthusiast in your team who leans in and heavily uses this product. And also one common concern a lot of agency founders come to us with is like, hey, my team is not AI forward. Like
Mhm.
there's just one person who is AI forward, but no matter how much education we do, the team is not like leveling up to his levels or her levels, right? So this is a way to show and educate the team. Like if they can show what is possible, the entire team leans in and like gets excited about this product, right? So how do we get that message across? Because this is something that we experienced ourselves, and this is not like intentional by design, but after we built it within Slack, we kind of realized, oh, this is something that is happening as a second order effect.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I think you basically just described it so much better. And that's what I would encourage you to put on this page as well.
Okay.
Yeah, like being like, hey, we're going to empower the most AI evangelist, whether it's the founder, whether it's the growth lead, it's, the RevOps leader, the marketing manager, whoever is that AI point person. Be like, hey, we're empowering them to 10x that and help empower the entire organization.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think there's work to do in terms of making that message solid and having it in a way where people reading it quickly gets that piece.
Yeah. If you do that and you just basically take that kind of killer message that you already know and already shared in this podcast, and
Hmm.
you put that in your H1 and in that subhead, um, you're going to see a lot more people join the waitlist because that functionality is super, super unique, but also
Yeah.
super smart, given the fact that it's a Slack interface and you basically just made your sign up be the same exact thing.
No, that's a really good point. I think we will go back and rework on the website to include that messaging and see how it's converting after
Yeah.
that.
And the only other thing I maybe would suggest is I know you're still in beta, but chances are you probably already have some testimonials. You already have some use cases. Maybe consider adding a second section of your website that just kind of showcases here are 3 growth, lead gen, RevOps use cases that customers just like you are already doing.
Hmm.
Ideally, with a testimonial, would go a lot further. It doesn't even need to have that. And yeah, that's just another way to just further choose up the like blank start problem that is so, so common with AI
Hmm.
tools, where it's like, hey, you have this really cool AI agent. I want to use it, but I don't know what to do next. So they default to doing nothing.
That's a really good point. Yeah. Um, I think like the one of the goals with the beta customers that we have is obviously to get some product feedback and make
Mhm.
sure whether they are able to succeed with these bots or not. But granted, if they succeed with it, we want to collect some testimonials, we want to do some case studies and include it in the website as well. So someone who is coming on to the website, they clearly understand what this particular bot can do, as opposed to just going and saying you can do anything with it, because if you say that, people are not going to know what they can do with it.
And kind of before we wrap, another kind of question I had for you, which was you kind of had mentioned before a lot of people, were either not doing anything or kind of piecemealing together different tools. Can you maybe share a little bit more about kind of who your competitors are and maybe how you're different?
Yeah, so in terms of our competitors, most of them fall into the bucket of workflow automation software. And some of those competitors include Zapier, which is very popular, Lindy.ai, which is like which is getting popular, N8N, which is like more of an open source workflow automation, and Salesforce themselves, because they own Slack and they are building some AI native features. The way we are different from some of these other tools out there, like N8 and Zapier and Lindy, is that with almost all of the other tools, you need to know how to build those workflows yourself. There is a bit of a learning curve, as well as there is some investment in terms of time that you need to do in order to set up like vertical AI agents for very specific use cases, which are great. With ours, the way we have approached it is you don't have to invest so much time into building workflows like in a Miro board sort of a thing with graphs and connectors and nodes and things like that. All you need to do is click a couple of buttons, create a bot, and then connect with any of the integrations that we provide out of the box. And that's about it. You can start using the bot. The way the bot performs a specific action is purely dependent on how well you interact with that bot, like how well you prompt the bot. which is something that we are improving on a day-to-day basis. So if you want a bot for managing your schedule, you just connect your Google Calendar and just like tag the bot on a specific Slack channel and say, hey, can you look up the schedule for me tomorrow, or add this particular event on my calendar, cancel this particular event that's coming up in the next 3 days. You can say things like that, and the bot can just go and do it like a real person. But as opposed to if you want to build a same sort of a thing with Zapier or an A10, you need to like go through the integration and build the workflow. That's how we are trying to differentiate.
Yeah, that's a killer differentiation, and that's something I would definitely encourage you to lean into within that homepage. If you're trying to get more beta users and eventually get out of beta, as well as just making it really, really clear that you're different because you don't need to be technical. It's super simple. You don't need to go through the same sort of workflows in Zapier and some of the other tools out there. I would even spell that out.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, that's another piece that we want to communicate. We are just trying to understand what is like a good balance between telling too much about the product and boring the customer out there, at the same time showing the clear differentiation and what it actually can do. Right. So that's the piece that we need to iterate with respect to marketing our product.
I mean, it almost feels like you're, and I was going to say this across a lot of these jams now, it feels like you're messaging wedge, aka what's going to get somebody to finally be like, hey, I'm going to try out Zest. Is it's so simple to use. You don't need to be technical. You can set it up once and forget about it. And now it's just working in the background across all of your growth tasks.
That's a really good point. Yeah, definitely something that we can consider adding. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, before we wrap up, is there anything else that you want to add?
No, I mean, like, if you are interested, if you feel strongly about using Zest based on whatever I have already described, you can either reach out to me directly. You can find my information that I guess you will be linking to the show notes. You can find my information there and reach out to me either on LinkedIn or Twitter. Or you can go to heyzest.ai and submit your waitlist, and I'll be sure to reach out.
Awesome. And thank you so much for coming on to Clarity Jams.
Thank you so much for having me, Jessica. It was truly a pleasure.